Please rise for the presentation of our national colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
He will wipe every tear away from their eyes. There will be no more death or sorrow, crying or pain. All of these things are gone forever. May we honor all of those here today at this beautiful memorial. Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity today to remember and honor our many brothers and sisters. And we ask all these requests in Jesus' name, amen. May God bless you all.
Drum major, by your command. Harps and drums, Highland Cathedral. By
Please be seated.
Good afternoon. I'm Brian Rice. I'm the president of the California Professional Firefighters, and I also have the honor of being the president and chairing the California Fire Foundation, the nonprofit organization that built and maintains this memorial. I'd like to start by thanking my Secretary-Treasurer, Mike Lopez, for the leading of our Pledge of Allegiance. Mike is also the Secretary-Treasurer of our foundation. Mike, thank you. I would also like to recognize Chantal Walton for her wonderful rendition of our national anthem, and my good friend and colleague Kevin Schneider, Senior Chaplain with the Sacramento Area Fire Chaplaincy, who offered our invocation. Kevin, thank you. I'd also like to recognize some of our many dignitaries who've joined us today. California Governor Gavin Newsom, Attorney General Rob Bonta, State Controller Mia Cohen, and we have a number of local elected and state elected officials that I want to thank you for being here today. And I have to take a moment to thank my state Senator Angelique Ashby. Today, we gather to pay honor and tribute to our fallen brothers and sisters who made the ultimate sacrifice and who gave a full measure of devotion to protecting their fellow Californians. The California Firefighters Memorial in Sacramento embodies the spirit of duty and sacrifice. When called, the answer without hesitation, they gave as much as could be expected for their community, their profession, their brothers and sisters, and their entire state. This ceremony is a tribute to that selfless dedication and bravery. This is a profession, this profession is a calling that we go into. We know it can be dangerous. When I started in the fire service 40 years ago, I had momentary thoughts of being, the risk of being killed in a fire. But the reality is the risks are far different and far greater than that. We're faced with the realization that we're losing our brothers and sisters all too often to the very job that we love doing. When you lose someone, you're denied so much as a family. No one thinks when you head off to work and you give that embrace or that goodbye, it'll be the last time, like pilot Tony Souza or our CAL FIRE brothers Josh Bischoff and Tim Rodriguez. They suited up to do the job they loved, and their loss was traumatic, sudden, and unfathomable. As our job has expanded, so have the risks. We lose many to job-related illnesses like cancer, cardiac disease, post-traumatic stress. These are the very real issues that we as firefighters face. More than half of the men and women going on this wall today died from a job-related cancer. Firefighters are strong and brave, and cancer slowly chips away and steals who they are, their very nature. The events that put each of our families here are different, but the loss is still felt the same. Each of these firefighters has a unique story, how they got into the fire service, their hobbies, their families, their friends, and how they gave back to their communities. Men like Sam Davis, former state retiree director for CAL FIRE Local 2881. Sam was a respected member of his church, and he embodied the selfless spirit of a firefighter. Sam touched me personally by his very love of Christ and his willingness to share that hope and faith and pick you up at a time when you really didn't know where you were going to go. Greg Cooper, past president of the Mountain View Firefighters, Local 1965, who tirelessly worked to better the lives of his peers and make the fire service a better place. I met Greg several years ago when I was detailed by then IFF Vice President Frank Lima to assist in Mountain View. Greg's passing so soon after retirement it stung, and it stung hard. John Martinez, a veteran of the United States Army, member of the Professional Firefighters of Contra Costa County, Local 1230, an honor guard member who's worked at this very ceremony and this very event, a young man whose life was cut short so young. And then a personal friend, Bob Bruce. Captain Bob Bruce worked on the job with me. He worked down the street. I worked as a captain on Rescue 21, and Bob worked as a captain on Truck 23. There was a day in our career, and Bob's family's knows, where Bob and I shared a look, and we both knew what that look was about, and no words needed to be spoken. Training was a big part of his career, and he's done so much for the fire service. He was instrumental in development and delivery of our pre-employment EMT program, and so much more. Each one of these men that I just mentioned gave so much. They gave so much not only to the job and their families, but to the community and their brothers and sisters in the fire service. These lives will be remembered for eternity. Their names etched in the polished limestone walls of the California Firefighters Memorial. This year is unique in that it's the unveiling of the newly expanded memorial. We welcome you to be the first to see how the site has been reimagined with you and your family in mind. We're honored to have a Don Romo here as a principal artist and a designer of the expansion. His father, Jesus Romo, was a Sacramento Fire Department battalion chief who is the creator of the iconic statue, Fallen Brother. We're also honored to have retired San Francisco Fire Department Captain Jerry Shannon here with us today, who is the inspiration that Dan Terry used for Fallen Brother. And Jerry, I believe then as a firefighter in 1989, performed a near impossible rescue in the Marina District in San Francisco in a collapsed building and saved Shira Cox, who probably went on to have a life after that day due to his selfless actions. And Jerry, we thank you for that inspiration and your friendship over the years. Adon walked this ground with his father for over 20 years, and they watched families come to mourn, and they watched school kids come to visit this site on field trips. The vision for the expansion of this memorial was to create a cathedral for our fallen families, where they can come and have private moments away from the hustle and bustle of a busy city. The thought and care that went into the design were done for one thing and one thing only: to honor the men and women that we have lost in this profession. At the center are the sacred limestone walls, and they carry the names of 1,563 California firefighters. It is on these walls that your loved ones' names are inscribed forever into the history of California. You will find the memorial as a place of serenity to gather with others or come by yourself. You can touch the name of a loved one or one of a fallen friend. Know that when you come here to share or to grieve, you're not alone. There are 1,563 brothers and sisters watching over you. There is a bond at this memorial, whether you're a family member or a firefighter coming to pay your respects. We're connected with the names on this wall. I'm no different than any other uniformed firefighter out here today. We have all been touched by the incredible men and women that are on this wall. The fire service has a bond with every one of our fallen brothers and sisters, and we also have an unbreakable bond with you, their families. We're connected through loss. It's what binds us together. We lean on each other. We support each other in these difficult moments. But as we support each other in a time of loss, the memorial reminds us of our obligations to the men and women whose names are on these walls, and more importantly, to the families that they left behind. As fire service professionals, it is our duty to never stop trying to advance the protections and safety standards and the knowledge of the risks that we face for the generations to come. We owe it to the men and women that we've lost, and we owe it to each family here represented today. Our brothers and sisters have not died in vain, and we will honor them for eternity. So today, we pay tribute to 36 more of the bravest who made the ultimate sacrifice for our safety. The California Firefighters Memorial is more than just stone and steel. Its presence on the grounds of the state capitol is a symbol of respect and tribute from the people of California. The men and women who lead our state share that respect. And today we welcome one such leader, the 40th governor of the great state of California, Gavin Newsom.
Brian, thank you. Thank you for your words. Thank you for your faith and devotion to the cause that unites each and every one of us. Thank you for reminding all of us that we all need to be loved. We all want to be loved. We all want to be protected. We all want to be connected, as you said, and we all want to be respected. And I think the spirit of your comments was also a recognition of the respect that's being afforded the 1,500 plus souls that have been lost that will be ever remembered on this wall. I'm here in the spirit of Chaplain Snyder, mindful that the Bible teaches us that we're many parts but one body. And when one part suffers, we all suffer. It's this idea that we're all bound together by a web of mutuality. And I think it's that spirit of mutuality that brings us together to mark our common purpose, as we have every single year, physically or virtually, since 2002, to take time to celebrate the higher humanity of those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, and to reflect on where we've been and where we're going as a fire service in this state, and for that matter, in our nation. It's also true that states and nation not only reveal themselves by the people they produce, they reveal themselves ultimately by the people that they remember, the people they honor. It is an honor for me to participate annually in this recognition of these brave men and women of service and sacrifice, of faith and devotion, meaning, purpose, and mission that shared their action and passion. I want to just express my deepest empathy and sympathy to the families. May God bless you. May God remind you of the smiles and the good days. Hopefully, some smiles will start to reemerge through the tears. May all of you continue to get the remarkable support that is provided by this foundation and the great work the foundation continues to do by the incredible generosity of Spirit and CPF and their board, by the Spirit. You'll hear from Dan Terry in a moment and the work he does. But again, on behalf of a grateful state, we just want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be here. For those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, we thank them for their lives lived. We thank God that they lived their lives. And we thank each and every one of you for being here this important moment today.
I'd like to thank the Northern California Children's Chorus, who graced our ceremony with their performance of Reach Towards What's Next. I also want to thank Governor Gavin Newsom for sharing his thoughts with us. I'd like to also thank the Executive Board of the California Fire Foundation. Today we're going to recognize 36 new names that are formally going to be added to our distinguished memorial across the street on the Capitol grounds. To each of these fallen heroes, California flags will be presented to their family members or a fire department representative. After all of the flags are presented, California professional firefighters, President Emeritus Daniel A. Terry, will close our program with the traditional last alarm ceremony. I'd like to take this moment to recognize another one of our honored guests and retired Fire Chief Mel Enslow, retired from the Redlands Fire Department. His son Kenny is depicted and lost his life in the line of duty with the U.S. Forest Service and is the last firefighter in line on holding the line. Mel, thank you for being here today. Joining us to call the roll, the honor roll this year, is Mark Hine, Fire Chief, the Sonoma County Fire Department, and President of the California Fire Chiefs Association.
Families, when you hear your loved one's name, please stand to receive the flag.
Detail. Ready? Face. Present. Arms.
Sean P. Stilson, Los Angeles City. Stephen W. Packett, San Francisco. Richard Tucker, Los Angeles City. Samuel R. Davis, Cal Fire. Kenneth F. Cayley Jr., Orange County Fire Authority. Robert McLaughlin, Cal Fire. Charles Morton, San Bernardino National Forest. Dale E. Mosby, Rancho Santa Fe. Matthew Watt, San Bernardino National Forest. Barbara L. Dockery, Ileton. Mark Adria, Cal Fire. Edward Godnez, San Bernardino National Forest.
Ready? Fight! Present. Oh!
Scott M. Fay, San Jose. Carol P. Thomas Jr., Cal Fire. Arn R. Tresvin, Los Angeles County. Michael D. Ferguson, San Diego Fire Department. Curtis W. Tate Jr., Cal Fire. Greg Cooper, Mountain View.
Detail. Order. Arms. Ready? Face. Forward. March.
Aaron R. Biukas, Cleveland National Forest. Daniel Lamoth, Santa Cruz County. Doug McCullough, Modesto. Brian Tracy, Santa Cruz. Kenneth Renz, Los Angeles County. Valerie L. Roberts, Los Angeles City.
Detail. Order. Arms. Ready? Forward. Arms. Ready? Face. Present. Home.
Dominic J. Smith, Santa Monica. Michael J. Ramsey, San Mateo. John J. Trejo, Santa Barbara County. Daniel P. Ramirez, Los Angeles City. Joshua Bischoff, Cal Fire. Timothy Rodriguez, Jr., Cal Fire.
Detail, ready, face. Present, arms.
David W. Payton, Atascadero. Robert J. Bruce, Sacramento Metro. John P. Martinez, Contra Costa County. Donald J. Cohn, Huntington Beach. James L. Stiglich, Los Angeles City. William Lenzen, Los Angeles County.
Good afternoon. Before I start with our last ceremony, I just want to thank the governor and our attorney general for being here. They have lots and lots of things they do, and the respect that they show all of us as a profession does not go unnoticed and truly appreciated. The first name on the California Firefighters Memorial is that of James Welsh, a San Francisco firefighter who paid the ultimate price in 1851. In Brother Welsh's time, firefighters were called to service by a ringing of the bell. It was the bell that signaled the beginning of that day's duties. Throughout the day and night, each alarm was sounded by a bell, which summoned these brave souls to fight the fire. When the fire was out, it was the bell that signaled the completion of their duties. And when a firefighter had died in the line of duty, paying the supreme sacrifice, it was a mournful toll of the bell that announced the comrade's passing. Much has changed in the last 175 years, but the traditions of our profession remain. These traditions reflect honor and respect for those who have given so much and who have served so well. As a tribute to their courage and sacrifice, we ring the last alarm, a special signal of 3 rings, 3 times each. It represents the end of the comrades' duties and that they will be returning to quarters. As it was for Brother Welsh when our state was new, we honor our 36 fallen brothers and sisters for their selfless devotion to duty with the last alarm. Their duties are done. They're going home.
Uniform personnel, on 10, halt! Freeze it! Halt!
Please be seated.
As we close this afternoon's ceremony, I'd ask that all attendees gathered in the hall please stay seated and allow me to give some directions for the recessional. At this time, all uniformed personnel in the sea of blue, please fall out and take your place behind the pipes and drums. The foundation staff will be outside the hall to guard you or guide you to your staging area. We're going to watch a short video tribute on the memorial. And upon conclusion of the tribute, I'll provide further direction for our families and then friends of the families for our recession to the memorial.
It has taken more than a decade for the California Firefighters Memorial to pass from a distant dream to the reality that we are about to unveil today. It carries the names of 855 men and women, 855 different stories, every one of them important to you, the firefighters, important to all of us as citizens of California.
To continue honoring our fallen brothers and sisters, the Foundation has explored impactful ways to expand the memorial, including selecting the right designer that will honor the intention and original elements of the memorial. The Fallen Brothers statue was created by the late Jesus Romo, a noted artist and retired Sacramento City Battalion chief. His son, Adon, who is a public works artist and was present for the creation of the original memorial site, has been chosen to design the expansion.
The blessing that we've had with the Romo family to be so connected with this over 20 years. They're not just an engineering firm that we hired or an artist that we hired.
I can almost mark our family pre-memorial and post-memorial. It really was a changing point for us. It feels like I've been preparing for this moment my whole life.
Those two men, over the lifetime of this memorial, visualized that at some point we're going to have to expand it to add names, and they were thinking about it.
Don took a chance, quite honestly. He showed us a design without any promises or anything. He's not a firefighter, but he grew up in a firefighter's family. He gets it.
I was moved beyond words, because not only does it capture the essence of, I think, what the memorial means to all of us, it also is a very thoughtful approach towards expansion and connection.
The memorial, for me, it had to be a home to build a setting where people felt welcome, and there was a way to tell the meaningful, rich story of the fire service, particularly in California.
What you'll see in your packet is the actual design. That is the complete packet from one end to the other. That meeting was specifically focused on the construction contract, a little over $7 million. It had a really good opportunity to explain how we got here and where we're going with this construction. And I think it was very important for the board to be able to see that.
It's been about a year since I originally pitched the idea. Today was reintroducing the committee to that story, the meaning behind all this, and those small changes that we've done along the way to make it a richer experience.
Fortunately for us, Adon and Dale work amazingly well. They were able to present it in a way where somebody like me, who wasn't here when the first memorial opened, but it gave me such inspiration. I just can't wait for the new one to be able to say I was there. It's going to be life-changing.
And when people come up here, our members, the families come up here and see the changes and see that they're incorporating, nothing's lost, but everything is added and expanded. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Today we are breaking ground on the expansion of the California Firefighters Memorial. Currently, there are 1,527 names on this wall. With the addition of 35 names last year, we have filled the original wall. There's never going to be a year that goes by where we do not lose a California firefighter in the line of duty. That is why we're here today.
Having been involved and around from the beginning of this memorial and be able to be present at the unveiling in 2002 and then now to be involved in the groundbreaking is moving.
But the groundbreaking really was the end of the planning side, and now it's the beginning of the construction side. And that's a big step for us. Before we got too far along, we actually went into moving all the sculptures and all the statues, partly for safety and partly because they're physically moving sites. We really felt it was important that firefighters actually physically move the sculptures.
Big day. Taking all the concrete out. It looks like a war zone here. It started raining, kind of captures the mood. Fallen Brother, that sculpture encapsulates the whole spirit of this memorial. Now that that sculpture's been removed, this space is no longer a memorial until we come back and put that back in here. Earlier this week, the axe walls have been poured in concrete, so that heart of the memorial is really getting fleshed out. It feels a bit like Stonehenge walking around those nameless walls right now. Of course, limestone's going to be on them pretty soon.
The spacing, it looks great. Yeah. Just seeing the vision come to life, it's amazing.
The big event for this week was moving Hold the Line, Larry Noble's piece. This is a piece that needed to be set just right. How are we looking on that side? Good? Good, I think we maximized on this side too. Perfect. We're still really in the basic first couple of stages of this project, and there's so much more that needs to get done to make this become a reality. One of the great things about being here in Sacramento is that I get to be here every day. I open the gate and it's always a surprise. The pace, the speed, the intensity of which these crews are working on, they're always little subtle changes. And it's a little bit like an orchestra conductor. There's the writing the music, but then there's the getting all these pieces to come together. And that's constantly calls for my attention to be here.
Well, our last big day, a day that brings us to a conclusion of the concrete, which is huge. And we've got the shroud marker basically going through the middle of the memorial, which is the heart of the memorial, underneath the main original wall. And then we're also luckily putting in the new fire fence today. It's been amazing to watch over the last couple of months for the granite to go down and then the limestone to rise up out of the granite. It's come together like a giant puzzle. It really has made it look like a home for all these new names. But in 150 years, they'll probably all be filled in a couple of generations, what makes it really difficult to look at those walls knowing how many fallen brothers and sisters that we'll have.
Today is historic. It's a milestone for us, a homecoming of sorts. For today, we're bringing Fallen Brother back home. While this marks the completion of the first phase of our memorial expansion,
Ready, lift.
It is for us probably the most important phase, for it allows us to open up our memorial again. It allows families and friends to come and visit and have their quiet time here.
Feelings of pride and gratitude, and I think really gratitude to see Fallen Brother return today. You were all on a construction site until that statue was set, and now it is a memorial. Everything in this memorial points back to the brother and the sisterhood of being a firefighter.
Being the son of Jesus Romo, who created Fallen Brother and the two original jackets on this memorial, it was now my turn to take his dream and put it in its rightful space. What we wanted to happen here is that families come here and they have a home, they have a place to touch the names of their family members and the sea of names that are on there now. That's ultimately what the design and the spirit that this memorial should be.